I am telling you, the public outcry had better start switching gears from save us from the disease and close us all down to open us back up now, or we are heading towards a Great Depression in the United States of America. Not a recession, a Great Depression. And some jerkwater $1 trillion bill in Congress, even if it did pass, ain't gonna change that. Not one bit. I have never seen this kind of lunacy in my life. I'm disgusted by the people who lead us, but I'm not surprised. Maybe that is a good thing that can come from all this. On top of the family time, maybe more time in prayer, maybe we all need a helpful reminder that we have a bunch of degenerate sociopaths leading this country. Don't trust them, ever.
That was me back in March of 2020. Joining me now, my friend Congressman Chip Roy. Congressman, I've never enjoyed being right less than I'm being right now, but that Great Depression thing doesn't look too far off when you look at the interest rates, the inflation that's still to come. It's really bad.
Jesse, I just want to say, you were one of the few people that was out there strongly calling this out right from the very beginning. Even I think I joked, I was on Twitter just saying, like, look, I kind of gave some deference to the president at the time for the 15 days to slow the spread. I was like, okay, I'll defer to the experts here, and never should have. I will say in my defense, on March 20th, I wrote a piece in National Review, March 20th of 2020, so almost 2 years ago exactly, saying that America needs a date certain to open up, and we need to open up immediately. And I wrote a piece in early April of that year in Fox News outlining all of the very predictable consequences of shutting down. The mental health issues, the substance abuse issues, all of the things that we're seeing in terms of killing our economy and jobs, all of those things we knew then, and you were rightly calling out. And look, let's be very clear about what's happening right now. Our Democrat colleagues here in the House, and frankly, a good chunk of my Republicans, are all too happy to chase the shiny object of Ukraine and to go down the roads of all these paths. Why? Because they want to sweep all of this aside. They want to hide the fact that we've got excess deaths. The people who've been studying the data showing, wait a minute, why do we have a whole lot of people between the age of 25 and 44 who are dead? And they're dead not just because of suicides and mental health and drug issues or alcoholism. They're dead because of some questions now about vaccine impact. Why aren't we having hearings about that, Jesse? Why aren't we looking and talking about the truth of what this government and its so-called leaders and corporate cronyism did to the American people? We need answers, and we need them now.
We do need them, Congressman, and you were right early on, right there with me, and it frustrates me so much now because I look at the financial hardship that's coming on top of everything else that you just pointed out. Substance abuse, all these very real issues, and I don't see how it can be stopped, especially when I look at the government now. Frankly, like you pointed out, Democrats and Republicans, they don't seem interested in slowing down this train at all. We're proposing trillions here and trillions there as if this money's just there. What's wrong with these people?
Well, I think you just put your finger on, I think, the one thing that if we don't get religion on and get it really quickly, our country will no longer exist. We will all be scraping around trying to figure out how to live free in the vestiges and the crumbled ruins of the United States of America. This republic will have crumbled if we don't stop spending money that we don't have. That's what we're doing. Both sides of the aisle are doing it. Republicans are just as guilty. And we're going out there and we're spending this money now of $30.2 trillion of debt. But that's not the real problem, Jesse, and you know this. We're funding the bureaucrats that are targeting our freedoms. We're funding the Department of Justice to go after parents for speaking out at school boards. We're funding a Department of Homeland Security who is going to end the use of Title 42, even while we have a so-called public health emergency, even though you got to wear a mask on an airplane. They're going to have Title 42 ending at the border, and we're going to have 200 to 300,000 people a month coming across our border. But you're funding that. I'm funding that because gutless Republicans go along with Democrats who are at war with Western civilization and the very principles that made this country great. And Republicans are showing up to a gunfight with not even a knife. They're just sitting up there with a whimper, just taking bullets.
Why, Congressman? Help me understand why they can't at least read the base, even if you are some limp-wristed Republican who doesn't have the guts to stand up. You at least, I know they get phone calls, they get emails, they get texts, they talk to people in their office. They have to know people like me want someone to fight back. The base wants someone to fight back. Why don't they fight back?
Two reasons. One, they are so focused on power, committeeships, who's in charge, raising money, numbers, beltway speak. They get caught up in their little dinners, and that's all they focus on. The second reason is because they don't know what time it is. They don't know where we are as a country. They sit around talking about, oh, we need to do 230 reform and some sort of antitrust. Look, I have those conversations too, because we have to figure out policy. But they're not actually talking about this from the standpoint of the Walt Disney Company, who is now at war with our entire way of life and actually acknowledging now we have to see that they're actually trying to have 50% of their characters be LGBTQ. And then they're saying, oh my gosh, Ron DeSantis in Florida dare to say we shouldn't sexualize our 4 to 7-year-old children. Guys, They are at war with us. And Republicans in this town don't get it. Our job, your job, my job, all of our job, for our kids, grandkids, and the future of our country is to shock Republicans who said they were running against all this stuff to actually do it and to wake up and know what time it is in America.
All right, you're a congressman. I'm not. Most people watching this obviously are not. What do? If you're a normal person, you have a congressman, maybe he's a weenie Republican, and you want him to buck up and do something. Is there anything the normal person can do to kind of shake him awake, as you just pointed out?
Yeah, and this is something that I think is the most important right now. Remember 10 years ago when we were all upset after Obamacare and Obama came in and it was crazy? We actually had a Tea Party revolt, and it resulted in some good things with cut, cap, and balance. It ultimately resulted in Trump. And, Trump, not always perfect on every single thing, but the 4 years of the Trump administration were great for this country in terms of the principles and the America First agenda, a strong economy, strength in the world. And we need that kind of policy making. So go hold your members of Congress accountable. Demand that they do that. Right now, pick up the phone, ask them what they're going to do. What they're going to do to challenge this administration. And when they get the gavel next January, who are they going to put in charge? And are they going to do what they said they should do? What are those things? One, secure the border of the United States now. No more excuses. Don't talk to me about future flow. Don't talk to me about status. Secure the daggum border right now. Two, stop spending money we don't have. Balance the budget and stop funding tyranny and all these bureaucrats killing us. Three, double down on freedom. Stand up for healthcare freedom against big healthcare and all the corporate cronyism. Stand up against big education and for parents instead of all this woke garbage. Stand up against ESG and all of this blocks to capital formation. Demand that we drill for oil and stand up against all of this big green garbage. Do it now. There are no second place trophies. We want to take our country back. You go do it right now.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, The Forgotten Genocide, the first episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.